Hello and welcome to Sports Fan Entertainment here for NFL Week 5 picks and predictions. Where last week I might have had my best week ever when it came to picking games on this channel. It's not my best records ever, but in terms of how I did relative to everyone else, oh my goodness, I was on fire. 12-4 straight up, 4-1 against the spread, and I should have easily been 13-3 straight up. But one of the picks I said in my video, I flipped last second. I don't know why I did this, but I shouldn't have done it. I flipped. I want to say it was the Lions game. Yeah, I flipped on the Lions game against the Seahawks. I had the Seahawks winning that game. I flipped to the Lions last second like a complete idiot. I knew with all the injuries that the Lions had, the Seahawks could get it done, and I choked and I flipped. Should easily be 13-3, but regardless, you are looking at first place tied for first place in the SFE Pigskin Pick'em League. That is right. I am coming for my own damn gift card. If I get first place, no one's getting my gift card. Second place and third place still get their consolation prizes, but I want to keep my gift card, damn it. 24-1, one of the best straight up records in the world right now. I'm 98th percentile. Do not mess with me when it comes to the NFL and when it comes to picking these games. So with that said, we got to keep this streak going, and I'm excited because now I'm on the precipice of going above 500 for my guarantees, my against the spread picks of the week as well. So we're so close. We can get there, but man, I'm kicking y'all asses right now, man. I'm just going to keep it up as much as I can, and let's begin with the first game of the week, the Thursday night football game, tonight's game, as we have the Indianapolis Colts at the Denver Broncos. And for right now, I have low faith in the Denver Broncos, but luckily for them, they're facing an Indianapolis Colts team, which I told people before the year, do not have high expectations for this team. Matt Ryan is done. I mean, this guy, he's cooked, he's finished. This is going to be his last year in the league, unless he wants to be a backup, which I don't think he really wants to do. I think he's going to ride off into the sunset a la Phillip Rivers. Funny how they're always Indianapolis Colts quarterbacks and how they love to retire. It's a funny thing that's going out there in Indianapolis. What's up, Jim Irsay? How you doing? So right now, this Colts team is struggling. No Jonathan Taylor tonight. This is huge. And while Nyheim Hines has been good as a backup running back that can come in and start, I think having Jonathan Taylor missing in this offense is huge for them, as it's just Jonathan Taylor and Michael Pittman. They rely upon both of them so much. It's hard to see them moving the football in this Broncos defense that has been very dominant despite the offensive issues. Give it the Broncos to win this game tonight. We move on to the Sunday games. This game will be played in London. We have the New York Giants at the Green Bay Packers, where the Packers, hey, they're 3-1. It's an ugly 3-1, but that's why I don't understand when people were freaking out after week one. I said, look at their schedule. They're going to be 4-1 here. I have them beating the Giants. Next week, they have another easy team. Week after that, they have another easy team. They always have an easy schedule. I knew they're going to lose to the Vikings week one, and then they always have easy schedules. At the very least, easy enough to where Rodgers is good enough, and the overall defense is good enough for them to win games, go 12-5, 13-4, and be a first round or divisional round exit because they're not good enough to go to the Super Bowl. This is what I expect. All right, this is the team that you have to understand what you're looking at here. I'm going to give the Giants here a decent chance to upset, but until they start winning games a little more convincingly, like actually moving the ball consistently in terms of the passing game and the defense, while it's been playing well, it doesn't really have an identity that I fully trust yet. I got to go with the Packers to win this game here. Pittsburgh Steelers at the Buffalo Bills, where the Bills are 14-point favorites. See, we're going to get into that more as we get into my guarantees at the end of the video. The Steelers are reeling, and they're moving to Kenny Pickett. Thank the gods. It's time for Kenny Pickett to play, and I am a believer in Kenny Pickett relatively. I'm not sitting here saying that he's like the next Justin Herbert or anything, but he certainly was the best quarterback in the draft, and I think the Steelers might as well play him. He looked great in the preseason, has looked good in training camp. He's from Pittsburgh. He went to Pitt. He went to Pittsburgh. He's a good fit in Pittsburgh for the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's going to be intriguing. He has the arm. We'll see if he can be a good enough, consistent decision maker, but he also has mobility as well. I'm very intrigued when it comes to Kenny Pickett. I think the Steelers going to cover. We're going to get into more of that here, but you got to pick the Bills to go 4-1 here. They're just a better team at this point, but I think the Steelers are still going to show signs of life, but their schedule is brutal right now. We move on to the next game. We have the Los Angeles Chargers at the Cleveland Browns, and for me, the Cleveland Browns are an interesting enigma. Now, I was luckily right last week that they're going to lose because I was like, man, I just can't see the Browns going 3-1. I just couldn't see it, and luckily I was correct. The Chargers have been struggling, and it's not helping that now Rashawn Slater's thrown on injury reserve. So we have Slater out for a while. Joey Bosa is going to miss 8 to 10 weeks. The Chargers Super Bowl chances are dwindling. I think that they're going to make the playoffs, but they got to start winning games, and they got to win games like this because 2-3 is not a hole by any means, but their schedule's still difficult. I mean, they're still in the AFC West, so if they don't wake up soon before season's end, they'll be 9-8, and they will have gotten hot by the end of the schedule, but it won't be good enough to make the playoffs for yet another season under Justin Herbert. So I'm going to pick the Chargers here very, very, very begrudgingly. Also, I just like that it's not cold in Cleveland yet. If it was November, December, I think I might pick Cleveland to win in the running battle. But I think right now the Chargers are still warm enough for them to be able to get it done in Cleveland. We move on to the next game. The Chicago Bears at the Minnesota Vikings, where the Bears. Okay, look, Bears fans. Look, and I wanted to defend, and I actually liked the pick of Justin Fields at the time, although I don't know if I would have traded up for him, and you guys had to do that. I don't know if I would have done that. However, what I will say is he's cooked. I think he's done. I think it's finished, and it's sad, but this is bad. I mean, he's not throwing for anything. Consistently throwing for 150 passing yards. Getting 150 passing yards for him is a complete wish. It's a complete hope. Maybe we'll get 200 passing yards today. Maybe. What type of offense is that? I mean, they're throwing it back to 1951. The Chicago Bears passing offense is ridiculously awful. And with that said, they can't go to Minnesota and put up points. I got the Vikings winning here. We move on to the next game of the Detroit Lions at the New England Patriots. And the Patriots find themselves backed up against the wall. They are 1-3, as are the Detroit Lions. Here I have a very dependent pick on injury. So listen to me very clearly. I think the Patriots, considering that they're able to run the football, Bill Belichick, and my God, Belichick, Patricia, and Joe Judge, these guys, while they're not offensive guys, and yet they're running the offense, they can at least scheme a run game. I think I have faith in them to do that, right? We saw them do that against Buffalo last year in that ridiculous game that we all remember, that, what was it, 10-3 game or whatever the hell it was. Now I'm expecting more points here as the Detroit Lions run defense stinks. It's terrible. It's absolutely god-awful. It's been one of the worst in the entire league. It might be the worst in the entire league. Even like 5.6 yards a carry. It's absurd. And now you're facing Damian Harris and Ramondre Stevenson. Those are two men you don't want to face when you have a bad run game, because a bad run defense, because that's what the Patriots want to do. They want to run these guys. Bailey Zappi, 7th-round pick. Now, they can win with this guy. They competed last week against the Packers with this guy. But I'd feel much more comfortable if it's Mac Jones. So my prediction is simple. If Mac Jones plays, I'll pick the Patriots. If not, I got to go Lions. It's going to be close, but I think Lions with the Amon-Ra St. Brown back, and their backs are against the wall. I think they're going to show up and want to compete against New England. So I have a injury-dependent pick here. I think Matt Jones will not play, though, so it will likely be the Lions my pick, so keep that in mind. We move on to the next game. We have the Seattle Seahawks at the New Orleans Saints. We're surprisingly here that Saints are 5.5-point favorites despite a 1-3 record. Seahawks having a better record at 2-2. Geno Smith continues to play well for the Seattle Seahawks, has one of the top passer ratings in the entire league. Geno. It's absolutely incredible what Geno Smith is doing right now. But it's not quite sustainable, as we all know. No, I think he's actually going to end up being a decent quarterback by season's end. I'm not actually expecting him to completely fall off. In fact, it wouldn't shock me if he's their starting quarterback next year. And I'm not sure a lot of Seahawks fans are going to be happy about that. But I think he's going to end up with this season in a passer rating in the 90s, meaning that the Seahawks are not going to be positioned to draft C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young unless if they wish to trade up, and they'll have draft picks to do so, but we'll see. And they might just draft a quarterback mid-first round, and Geno Smith still start next year. It's very possible. I'm now considering this as a possibility, whereas before the season I was not. For this game, the Saints, they're still talented, and they competed last week against the Vikings with Andy Dalton. 1-4 for the Saints, losing another game at home. I just can't see the Saints losing again at home. So I'm going to pick the Saints here, but I'm going to give the Seahawks more credit as we go into against the spread. We move on to the Miami Dolphins at the New York Jets, where the Jets are becoming interesting. Their young talent is very interesting. Garrett Wilson didn't have a great game last week, but was playing very well under Joe Flacco. Now we're seeing signs of life from Breece Hall, their second-round running back. Zach Wilson had 2 interceptions last week, which I did not love, but had some nice runs and some nice moxie and a nice gritty as well. Sauce Gardner, a lockdown corner, boom, as soon as he's hitting the league. I am intrigued by the New York Jets. Quinnen Williams coming into his own. And now the Dolphins are coming to town, headed by Teddy Bridgewater. The Dolphins have not had a good defense this season. I don't think Joe Burrow played particularly well last Thursday. So I don't know why the Bengals didn't score more points on the Dolphins defense last week. I think the Jets are going to score points here. I think Robert Saleh has been taking his receipts, and I think he has some receipts to dish out to Miami. And I still like Miami a lot. But for this game, I'm going to go with the upset. I'm going to go with the New York Jets to beat the Dolphins at home, go 3-2, and now into the playoff discussion. A discussion that I don't think will last long because I still don't see them being even an 8 or 9 win team. I think 6 or 7 is very possible right now. Probably even likely, I'd say 6 or 7, at least 6. But I think they're on a little stretch and I'm very intrigued. I want to see more from New York. All right, we move on to the Atlanta Falcons at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, where the Falcons are 2-2. And if Mariota doesn't make some mistakes and some other players make some mistakes, they could be 4-0. Literally, they've been in every game. They were down 28-3 against the Rams. Could have won the game, came back and could have easily won the game. Should have beat the New Orleans Saints week 1. So at the very least, they should be 3-1. At the very least. It's insanity. But now it's time to come back to earth. As they know, they have the bus coming up. They have a couple other difficult games coming up. And Mariota's going to be cooked. And look, I've enjoyed the comeback attempt. It's been fun. But boy, you still made a lot of mistakes. You only completed 7 passes last week, dog. You just ain't it, son. I'm sorry. You know, if you want to be a backup for the rest of your career, make that money. If not, you want to go off and do something else, pull a Jake Locker, that's cool. It ain't for you starting the NFL. And that's just, but it was fun. It's fun. It's still fun seeing him win these games, but it's going to start coming to an end real soon. Desmond Ridder, get ready. We move on to the next game. We have the Tennessee Titans at the Washington Commanders. Now, I was collaborating with Louis T over at Louis T Network previewing this game. And I'm not going to be a hypocrite because I made a prediction in that video. I'm going to stick by it. And I'm going to discuss this more tomorrow in our preview of this game. This is not what I would define as a trap game. A lot of people are going to call this a trap game. I don't think it's a trap game. I think a 2-2 team facing a 1-3 team, I don't think that's a trap. I don't see how that's a trap. They're one game apart. So to me, that's not a trap. Here's the problem. I just can't view it from the Titans' perspective. I have to view it from the Commanders' perspective. And I know a decent amount of the Commanders, as I do every team in the NFL. Unless if this is truly the end of Ron Rivera, and it certainly could be, I just don't see the Commanders losing 4 games in a row. I just don't see that. Their offense the last 2 weeks have been struggling. They scored 10 points last week, 8 points the week before that. Week before that scored 27. Week before that scored 28. So 2 straight bad weeks offensively. Their offense is going to bounce back. Meanwhile, our offense still struggling, not scoring in the second half, literally just having good halves. Had a good first half against the New York Giants. That was it. Good first half against the Raiders. That was it. Good first half against the Colts. We're playing half by halves. Ron Rivera. And I think with this back against the wall here, I think he's going to game plan against us. They've been stopping the run the last 2 weeks. I think they slow Derrick Henry down, make us one-dimensional, take Robert Woods out of the equation. Maybe Kendall Fuller, William Jackson III makes a play. This is going to be close. I got the Commanders winning this one, and I'm just being honest. Now, that's not me. And if we lose, I'm not going to go crazy. I'm expecting to lose. Because, boom, we got a bye week. We got the Colts. Boom, go 2-0 against the Colts. Go face the Texans. Boom, we're 4-3. We're fine. We're exactly where I thought we'd be going into the season. Now, if I'm wrong and we win this game, then we're good, and I don't give a damn. Because I still think we're going to beat the Colts and the Texans. Now we're going to be 5-2, and I'll be feeling great. But I think this is a game we're going to lose. Mainly because I just give respect to the Commanders to saying they're not that bad, I think. But if they lose this game, then they're in trouble, and Ron Rivera is certainly in trouble. We move on to the next game of the Houston Texans at the Jacksonville Jaguars. And the Jaguars, while everyone is now making them their darling, I want to see more. Now, luckily, they're facing the Texans this week, so, they're probably going to go 3-2. Probably. Although the Texans have been very fierce in competing in every single game this season. I mean, the Chargers had them, pretty much dead to rights throughout the entire game, but they only lost by 10. So they've been in almost every game. So that's been nice. I mean, I wanted to pick the Texans to cover here, but I just couldn't do it. It's very possible, and maybe even very, very possible. I just don't have the stones to do it. Give me the Jaguars to win. They're at home. They should get it done. But look, these AFC South matchups between these two teams are ugly. So this is not a complete write-off. Keep your eye on this. You have the San Francisco 49ers at the Carolina Panthers, where the Carolina Panthers stink. I mean, they stink bad. Baker Mayfield stinks. I thought they were going to have some semblances of life with Baker Mayfield at the helm. Hell nah. This is a disaster. They are moving and barreling toward CJ Stroud or Bryce Young. It is over. They are done. They are cooked. They are now competing with the Texans. It's either going to be the Panthers or the Texans. CJ Stroud, Bryce Young. Go ahead and count it. Unless it's the Falcons, and they're going to start their losing streak. The Falcons can give themselves the ball, but I'm telling you right now, and then we have to see some teams try to trade up, but I'm telling you right now, the Panthers are going to be in the running for both those men, and be seriously considering that Matt Rule is screwed, and this could be his last game, and I think if they lose in bad fashion, it should be his last game. I can't remember who I was looking at on their coaching staff. They have someone that could take over. Let me check their coaching staff real quick. That can take over right now and just try to give them a semblance of life. But Matt Rule stinks. He won 5 games. And this year they'll be lucky to win 5 games. He's done. This has been a complete disaster. Go back to Baylor. They have Ben McAdoo and they have Steve Wilkes. I would promote Wilkes. I don't want to see Ben McAdoo again. I would promote Wilkes, but we'll see what they do. Wilkes was not great for Arizona, but I'd rather give him another chance than Ben McAdoo. Ben McAdoo had much of a chance. Steve Wilkes only had half of a season, or really only 1 season, and the Cardinals did not give him a good roster at all. So, of course, give me the 7-6 49ers, go to Carolina and get the job done. We move on to the Dallas Cowboys at the Los Angeles Rams, where I'm interested to see what happens here. Now, Cooper Rush is likely to start again. I mean, actually, I think they already said he will. This Rams offense is struggling, and here comes the Cowboys defense to town. And the Cowboys defense has been very impressive all season long. Teams have struggled putting up points against them. This is going to be a close game. And I really want to pick the Cowboys to win this, because they've been playing better than the Rams this season. Period. Overall, they've been playing better than the Rams this season. The problem is, it's a pick that would rely upon me to say that, okay, Sean McVay's really going to get off to a 2-3 start at home. Is it really going to happen like that? Is that really how it's going to go down? Or, at home, will Donald show up a little bit more? Will Jalen Ramsey show up a little bit more? Will Bobby Wagner show up a little bit more? Will they be able to put their, focus up a little bit? I want to say that. I had a pick before this video, but now I'm starting to convince myself otherwise again. Damn it. Am I going to flip my pick here? CeeDee Lamb, he's going to have struggles with Jalen Ramsey. So because of that, I'm going to stick with the Rams. I almost flipped to the Cowboys. I was trying to convince myself, like, wait a minute, Micah Parsons is going to give Matthew Stafford some hell. And I'm like, damn, maybe I need to pick the Cowboys. This is going to be low scoring. I need to take the under. I'm adding one more guarantee. I need to take the under for this game. Give me the Rams. But this is going to be a close one, people. All right, we move on to the Philadelphia Eagles at the Arizona Cardinals. Cardinals are struggling. I mean, and I had them being a fringe playoff team. I had them 10-7. We'll see if they end up being that. Now, when DeAndre Hopkins comes in, that's going to be another weapon. And it's trying to stop Hopkins, Hollywood Brown, Greg Dortch, who didn't play well last week, but even Greg Dortch and Rondale Moore and James Conner. I mean, that's still going to be difficult. So I expect the Cardinals to get a little more momentum as the season moves on. So they're not completely cooked, but they're hosting the Eagles, who are playing right now as if they're the best team in the NFL. We'll see if they continue to maintain that. And they're looking at that Saints pick that they have next year, and they're like, ooh, boy. They already have their boy Jordan Davis on the defensive line, their first-round pick of 2022, playing well. Next year, if the Saints keep stinking, they could get Jalen Carter. They can get another defensive lineman to replace Fletcher Cox could be gone. At the very least, Javon Hargrave. One of those two defensive linemen are gone. Okay, we got replacements coming up in the draft. Eagles 2 first-round draft picks next year. They're going to add to this core, going crazy in Philadelphia. Give me the Eagles to win this game in Arizona. Move on to the Cincinnati Bengals at the Baltimore Ravens. This was an upset alert, as last year the Bengals swept the Ravens. A lot of people don't remember this, but this is what went down, and that was one of the things that began to make me take note and say, hey, the Bengals might end up being a contender. They ended up making, and I was always high on the Bengals heading into the season than most people were. Now, I didn't have them going to the Super Bowl. I had them 8-9, which, by the way, people, was a very high record at the time. That was a very high record for me to say the Bengals even going 8-9. So I have a lot of intrigue here. They play the Ravens well. They beat them 41-17 the first game. Second game, they beat them 41-21. So they match up well against the Ravens for whatever reason. I don't really know why. I think the Ravens are going to get it done here and get revenge. It's in Baltimore. They've already lost 2 games in Baltimore this season. I can't see them going 0-3 at home to start the season, but they're certainly on alert here. And then we have the Monday Night Football game, the Las Vegas Raiders at the Kansas City Chiefs. Got to go with the Chiefs here at home. I mean, if it was in Las Vegas, it might be a different story. Not that, by the way, the Raiders haven't beaten the Chiefs in Kansas City. We've seen that maybe even last year. That might have been the case. Let me look at that real quick. I think even last year they did, or the year before that. So it's not that it's impossible. I just don't feel like picking it. Right now the Raiders are showing me a little too much inconsistency for me. And it was 2 years ago when they did that. They won 40-32 in Kansas City. And that was when the Chiefs were 4-0, one of their only 2 regular season losses. So certainly can happen. I'm just not going to pick it. All right, so with that said, we move on to my Gary Damn Tease of the week. And real quick, let me check the total for this Cowboys-Rams line, because I definitely looked at it. 43, we got to hit the under on that. So I'm going to go ahead and add one. I'm adding one on here. But let's begin with the Indianapolis Colts at the Denver Broncos, 41.5. Got to go the under here. No Jonathan Taylor. The Colts are going to struggle to score points, even with Nyheim Hines. Broncos are going to struggle to score points because they always struggle to score points. So I feel comfortable with the under 41.5 tonight. Pittsburgh Steelers plus 14. Kenny Pickett, yes, he's a rookie starting. Yes, he had 3 interceptions last week, but he was moving the football pretty well despite those 3 interceptions. A lot of them are just, deep shots. A lot of them are very punt-like, to be honest. I think he's going to play better at the very least. Even if the Bills get up to an early start, they have the Chiefs next week. I feel like they might pull their starters a little early, take it a little easy as they look forward to the Chiefs matchup next week, a huge AFC powerhouse matchup. One of those teams is going to have 2 losses. That's going to be interesting. 4-2, not too bad. Anyone can rebound from 4-2, but still interesting nonetheless. Los Angeles Chargers minus 2.5. I feel comfortable saying they're going to beat the Browns, maybe foolishly, but I feel comfortable saying that. The Seattle Seahawks plus 5.5, I think it's too many points. I think it's too many points considering the fact the Seahawks have been a better team this season, considering the fact that the Saints are going to be starting Andy Dalton, considering the fact that Michael Thomas is still going to be out. So Chris Olave's been playing well, but it's just Olave, it's Kamara, and it's Jarvis Landry, and it's Andy Dalton. And I don't know if that's saying, okay, yeah, they're going to score so many points and beat the Seahawks by more than a touchdown. I don't know if we're comfortable saying that. Cowboys plus 5.5. Again, I feel like they could easily upset the Rams. And then I'm adding one more, so I'm going to have 6 this week, but I have to do it. Yeah, looking at I don't know why I didn't really think about it earlier, but I got to take the under 43. Under 43 for Cowboys Rams easily. I mean, this is going to be a 14 to 13, 14 to 17 game, 100% in my opinion. Definitely got to hit this under 43 for the Cowboys at the Rams. And now I feel very comfortable saying I'm going to go over 500 for my guarantees and my against the spread picks of the week. We have a couple of comments that I want to call out in the chat. And I want to just call out and address them, and then we will get out of here. Remember, I will be back tomorrow to preview the Tennessee Titans versus Washington Commanders, and then have to explain more as to why I have us losing this week. I know I'm going to catch hell from Titans fans about that tomorrow, but luckily not many of them are watching right now. All right, so we had the first one from David Kahn, who says, at Sports for Timmy, do you think Herschel Walker will win Georgia? I'm going to address this just from a very unbiased, I'm not saying like, oh, I'm a liberal, I'm a conservative. I'm just going to address this overall, objectively, what I literally think is going to happen. I honestly don't care what's going on in terms of the news that's coming out about him. I literally don't care. I don't think it matters, to be honest. I just think the people are going to vote for him. That's not going to change or move the needle when it comes to them. I don't see how he could be Raphael Warnock if, and who was it? I can't remember who it was now. It was Warnock versus... was it Leffler? Yeah, versus Leffler. Oh, well, although I could come up with a couple of reasons as to why. But, well, number one, he's a name, and then there's other reasons I can name for that. I just don't see that. So right now I have Warnock winning. It's going to be close. It's going to be very close, but I'll make a political opinion or prediction. I have Warnock winning right now, but it's still going to be very, very, very close. All right, we move on to the next comment. We have a couple comments from Chase that I want to address. We have Chilling with Chase in the comments. I always love to have some comments from Chilling with Chase. He says he's a Chargers fan. He says that's how the Chargers are right now. First half, we look like the team we should be. He also says Matt Rule is the worst coach I've ever seen. He stinks. He's really bad. He's completely over his head, 100%. And then Chase also says they're 0-5, referring to the Bengals, are 0-5 in their last games in Baltimore, but I think that streak ends. It definitely could. All right, so we have Alex M, who says, as Sports for Entertainment, will the Titans play down to the competition this week? And yeah, you might have missed my prediction, but I have us losing this week. I have us losing to the Commanders this week. That's what I have. That's what I believe. Not that means that's changing my opinion on this team overall. I have this team still 9-8. I had it 10-7 before the season. I have 9-8 because I didn't see us losing to the Giants. That's a loss that I can't forget about. And I think really we can't come back from, but I just think that showed us a lot, as did the loss to the Buffalo Bills. So I'm still saying 9-8, but I feel like this is going to be one of the 8 against the Washington Commanders. But luckily, again, we have the Texans coming up, 2 matchups against them, still the Colts, the Jaguars. I think we're going to go 5-1 in the AFC South. That's 5 wins. Going to get 4 more elsewhere. Already beat the Raiders. Just got to get 3 more somewhere else. I mean, that's literally it. It's just that simple. All right, we move on. We have Michael Rosario, who says, at Sports for Entertainment, what do you think about calling Andy Isabella? I mean, try him out. Just try him out. He hasn't been able to get on the field for the Cardinals. He's just been in the doghouse, but they have a lot of wide receiver talent. But they've been drafting wide receiver talent because they don't want him to be on the field, right? I mean, they drafted Rondé Moore. They didn't have to do that. They traded a pick for Marquise Brown. They didn't have to do that. They even drafted someone else I can't remember right now. I don't know. It might have been Andy Isabella, who I'm thinking about, who doesn't play. So I think that, I don't think he's very good, but you can try him out. If he looks good to try out, then sign him. Doesn't really matter. Alex Mans says, why are you a Titans fan? Well, I've been in Nashville, Tennessee since 2000. So when you're 3 years old and everyone around you is a fan of a football team and you want to get into football, you're probably going to fall in love with the team that you're around. And that was the case for me. All right. So with that said, that's going to do it for me here. Sports Fan Entertainment NFL Week 5 picks and predictions. What are your picks and predictions? Comment down below. I want to know. By the way, I will post the link for my collaboration with Louis T as we previewed the Washington Commanders against the Tennessee Titans. Whenever that video is up, I will let you guys know. Always make sure to follow the Sports Fan Entertainment Instagram or my Twitter for updates on the channel. There's always updates on the channel. Until next time, this has been MJ of Sports Fan Entertainment, and I'm out. See you all later.